Hello, Orville Nation. How are you guys doing? Hello, Storyman Jack, Adega, Alicia, um, everybody else who's in the chat who hasn't, who I don't see right now. Thank you guys for joining us for a very, very special interview of a friend of the channel's. And we have recently gotten to know Michael Satterfield, and he's an amazing, amazing Renaissance man. Welcome, Michael.
How you doing, guys? How is everyone doing this weekend? It's nice to be on the channel. Glad to.
And Sci-Fi is going to be helping out on the interview on the panel. And welcome, Sci-Fi.
Oh, thank you very much for having me here.
And I'm going to be posting links to Michael's YouTube channel, which is called Classic Glue Review, and as well as Sci-Fi's. Welcome, Axonar.
We have Trey from Axonar Comics. Welcome, Trey.
That's good.
So, Michael, so what got you as you were, when you were a teenager, maybe, or a young, child, or whenever it started? What made you go into acting? What started it all?
Star Wars. Isn't that how it all begins? At least my age. I used to make little Super 8 films in my backyard. A lot of people don't know what this is, but once upon a time,
Really?
You could buy a camera yourself.
Oh, yeah, the Super 8 preceded the 35 millimeter, right?
Well, it was Super 8, but the home film that you would take at your house was either 8 or Super 8 by Kodak. It was the only game in town, at least back in the 60s and the 70s.
Oh, that's before my time.
You'd take it to your local pharmacy, and they would develop it for like $2. And so I would make lots of movies, because I like science fiction and action, where a lot of disappearing and starting the camera again. And then what I would turn those into is a lot of integrations by throwing myself into electric fences or force fields. And then came back, you would just take a marker and you would color on the film. And then you'd have a color and you would walk into it and disappear. And then also for laser, man, you had to do this on a really small piece of film, and on the film as well, to remove the emotion and get your energy or blast. And I used to make little a lot of stop motion. So it was me and my brother. I got older in high school. One of my best friends, Tad Morris, his brother was in Stealing Home. That was a Mark Harmon movie from the 80s. And they were filming in Philadelphia. And one day we played hooky and decided, hey, let's go hang out on the set all day. It's a neighborhood and in different houses. And I happened to be friends with him because he was staying at the house a lot. So I asked him one day, hey, Steven, can I be in the movie? And he said, sure, go to wardrobe. And it's a period film. It's the first time I ever been in a film. It's really amazing. Anything in front of Ted Ross. I think he's from Police Academy Poltergeist. If I'm not, I think he may have passed away since then. But the funny thing is, they put me in the front, and then some paid extra or somebody would say, "Hey, I'm sitting here. You sit back there." So he moved me to be in front of Ted Ross, and we actually had a little exchange, and that was pretty cool.
Wow.
That was my fate into movies.
So,
and go ahead, Safi.
I have a question. So you're talking about when you were younger and doing the stop motion with the camera. Were you actually doing?
Hey, Bird of Prey. Sorry, I just want to say hi to one sec, Safi. I just want to say hi to Bird of Prey and to Anti-Trekker and to everybody who's coming in, Axonar and everybody. Go ahead, Safi. Sorry.
Thank you, Trey. Thank you, AT. Thank you, Bird of Prey 5, Alicia, Victoria Parker, and anyone else I might have missed. Thank you so much for being here. Storyman Jack, I see you in chat. It means the world to us. Thank you so much. My question was, you said you were doing like stop motion with the old camera, the 8mm. So was that like actual stop motion filming? Or was that like, so you put in effect?
Well, for the actual stop motion, it was shoot a frame, move a figure. And I would use the Kenner Micro collections, from Star Wars. They had those little die-cast metal figures. And either do the Hoth scene in the snow time or whatever season it was to make cool films. We even made my first full length as far as Stop Mar Warp 2. I don't know why I called it 2, but it was pretty much a Star Wars movie with the pure cruiser ahead and had titles. And I always been a creative person, so that's kind of.
I got to tell you, since I got to know you, Michael, I was amazed at all the stuff you do and you still do. You're currently doing.
Yes, I get bored easily, so I like to stay busy at different things, but only creative things. It's great to figure out a puzzle, whether it's how to write a book, write a story, take an idea from your head, draw it, and then manifest it on the screen or in art or whatever form it takes. You just have to put your mind to it and pretty much accomplish anything. I was actually there living in Philadelphia at the time they were filming Rocky 3, the movie. We were at a show for the cast and crew because my mom had knew somebody doing a party at Fire and Ice. It's like a ice skating rock and roll laser robot show where this disco dance floor and shot some lasers and they would dance and I remember I had the big that year and the statue being being on the museum. Now it was removed for a while. Then they moved it into the back. And then I think they brought it back again to the front. And that was probably... I moved to California in 93. I knew you couldn't really do film in Pennsylvania. And New York was way too expensive, and I didn't want to do theater. So I saved up money, and I researched apartments, and I just came over with a one-way ticket. And my away dinner, my mom was like, if you don't like it, we're not paying to have you come back. And it's 27 years later, and although I do visit for holidays, when I first got here, I was new, didn't know anybody. I already had a job, a pen emblem, doing an embroidery, like they call it punching when they do embroidered emblems. Laid off, and then happened to get a job at Universal the year Back to the Future opened. That's really where I learned that acting was a job that they paid you for. Because day at Back to the Future, and extras or principals would come up during lunchtime, say, "Hey, I'm on my lunch. I'm working."
Are you seriously in Back to the Future as an extra?
No, Back to the Future, the ride.
Oh, okay.
Back to the Future. Yeah, I worked at Universal Studio where Back to the Future, the ride had just opened, and stars would come up from the low and want to beat the crowds, so they would ask to go into the VIP line. And one of the actors, I'm a day player for Sequest, and he told me, "Yeah, you just go to this place called Central, pay some money, and then they put you on movies." And said, "Oh, that's cool." Now that you had to be Taft-Hartley or something to do SAG, the union, but I found some other place that did non-union work. So film casting associates, I believe. I don't think they're around anymore, but that's how I started doing the behind the scenes work and getting to know film. It was on Ed Wood, Blue Chips,
Michael,
Forrest Gump. Yes.
Well, wow. Before we get into you, maybe we should stop for a second because you were talking about your mother. Do you want to share with us about your mother and her involvement in Star Trek and all that? That's an amazing story.
Oh, sure. When I was living in, I guess, Bainbridge, I was maybe 8, and she was the illustrator. She worked for an advertising agency. I think it was called the Brandywine Agency. And DC Fontana was in New York or had jobs in New York. But my mother's firm got a contract to do the for these, I don't want to say fanzines, that she was before the advent of Starlog and Empire. This is like 79, maybe 79, 82, sometime around there. And I just remember she would do a lot of volumes and the Star Trek logo. And I don't remember any of the stories, but the images of her pen and ink drawings from these stories that have a vague, fuzzy imprint on my mind, and that was really cool. She did a lot of interest in creative life, and then
so she was working with DC Fontana then.
She was doing illustrations for her stories.
Wow.
Through at some agency. Like I said, she was always
a writer, or was she a writer during that time? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Was she a writer during that time?
No, technical illustrator. She's an artist like myself. Yeah.
Okay.
So she just does art. And these were for some Vulcan stories. And I just remember a lot of pen and ink of Vulcan stuff. I don't remember much. Again, I was really young. I was born in '67, so when she was doing that, I was probably 10 to 13 during those times. And don't know. I don't remember much because at that time, I believe I was at a private school at the time, and she may have stopped or moved on. She was a single parent, so we were at the Milton Hershey School for Boys, me and my brother, for a while, so she could better on her own. So that's when she got all those other kind of art jobs.
Wow, that's very exciting.
That's all I can remember about the DC Fontana function.
Who would have known that you would have ended up on Star Trek, huh?
I know. I love Star Trek so much. Would watch the original series like crazy. And then when I moved here, unfortunately, I mean, I wasn't as big as I am now. But the next generation had one rule. If you didn't fit into the costume, you couldn't be on the show. So they had very height, weight,
no dad
thin bodies, because the jumpsuits at the time. So if you couldn't fit, you didn't get in it.
No dad bods.
But then, once they started doing Deep Space Nine, they're a little more flexible. Now, I was on to Deep Space. It was when they travel, when they go back to Earth in the 22nd century, and there's a food riot, and they have to stop that guy from dying because it will change. And at the time, I was writing a miniseries, V, and I met Julian Bashir, the guy who plays the Doctor. And during my off times, writing in my book, and one day after a cut, Julian comes over and says, "Hey, I noticed you over there. You really get into your work." I guess he was talking about the acting, not the writing. Friends, and he was actually going to appear. Excuse me. He agreed to read the script for one of the roles. Unfortunately, the series never got canceled. But Avery Brooks, super nice. Pretty much everybody on Deep Space, nice, except for the Vulcan, not Nana Visitor, the
Tim Russ.
She's just like, no, this is a female.
Oh,
on Deep Space. I can't think of her name, but she was really cranky. She liked that. She didn't like me when she wasn't on the set. She just went back to her job. No, she was nice. The other one, her name was on the tip of my tongue. The black hair. She was a Bajoran Nana Visitor.
Okay, so what?
Armin Shimmerin was nice.
Oh yeah, Quark. He's a good dude.
She was either a Ramen or Max. That's it. Yeah, she was.
Oh, Terry Farrell. Berta Price says.
Nice. That's it. Yeah.
She was cranky.
Oh yeah. Well, some actors, they're busy and they don't want to speak to other people. In between takes, they have to know their part and stay in the character. The next opportunity would be Voyager, where I remember they were in the void, and Janeway had that whole Leonardo DiCaprio. I mean, Leonardo da Vinci. John Rhys Davies played Leon Nick, and she kept going to the holodeck to ask him for advice and have somebody to talk. I was one of the villagers in his group, so I got to hang out with John Rhys Davies season. That was cool. And then after they emerged from the void, Tinker Tenor Doctor, where the Doctor wanted to play captain. So holodeck programmer, he could be the captain and control the ship and have fun.
Now, can I ask a question?
The overlords. Oh, sure.
I'm sorry. Can I ask a question? Is this the episode? I know the episode you're talking about, but is this the episode that led into Miles, O'Brien, and Bashir going into their World War II thing that we've seen over and over at like the end of every episode for like 3 seasons? Going in to save Britain or the Battle of Britain and whatever they were doing. Because they wanted to be in command
of Voyager.
Deep Space.
I don't remember the following the preceding episodes. I just know it was a 2-parter. It was a time travel episode, and they had to change something so that the future wasn't changed because somebody had killed an instance leader or something. Sorry, I can't answer more. A terrible memory.
I didn't mean to get your off track.
Since you touched upon, okay. There's actually so much. There's so much to ask you about. I want to ask you about your music videos and all your music involvement. But since you talked about Voyager, I put up this picture already. Michael, which one of the 3 on the left? Which one of the 3 aliens were you? Were you the guy who was friendly with the Doctor? Were you the captain of the vessel? Which one were you?
Oh no, I was the 3rd assistant guy. The complaining about because he would he was befuddled a lot. He liked to do his own thing. Testing that the Doctor was that guy. The captain was a straightforward guy, in command, who I think discovered the Doctor, and I'm on the radio. So there's a scene where you see the 3 of us, and I'm controlling the computer. I work the computer, and the other 2 guys. And
the guy who befriends the Doctor, like you said, he was befuddled, and he would talk to you in confidence, right?
Yes. That took 8 hours to get into. That's a full head, face, and then makeup. And that's a neoprene outfit.
That
were pretty much just liquid lunches.
That's 8 hours of music or 8 hours of makeup right there.
Yeah. Yeah,
what
and
patience.
It took between 4 and 6 to get it off. So I said at 3 a.m. Oh yeah, because they want to save it. You got to save money, so they carefully have to peel it off. I have that. They gave it to me at the end. I have it sealed in a bag because it's Roman foam. Oh yeah. It's after the show. So sad. That's my trailer on the bottom.
You know, that's awesome because I saw so much stuff go up into Christie's auction. It is so refreshing to see that so many little tidbits of these shows are still in private hands. That is amazing.
Well, not enough. I was so sad. Was going to wardrobe every day because they literally kept every single outfit from every show in a rack, a big, huge warehouse. And then when Paramount said, screw Star Trek, sell it all. That's what they did. They fired everybody. They closed all the offices. They chucked the sets.
That's when they split from CBS, right? Or Paramount or whatever, wherever they split.
When they still had the Hilton Hotel, they had it where they sold off the Voyager, the Reliant,
that was the big Christie's auction.
Sold off all the props. I wish I could have a lot of the things right in my price range, but my own personally
out of all of our
what was that?
I said they're out of all of our price ranges, unless you had millions of dollars to spend.
Well, now what? I was in the Flintstones, and I have my outfit, and
I'm going to post that.
I just happened to get it from It's a Rat, and it didn't cost me much. A thrift shop where they sell used movie wardrobe.
And you're in the Flintstones too. You just said, "Wow."
This is Michael and the Flintstones. Yeah, this is Michael and the Flintstones.
Dang, pretty much all my.
That's amazing. I love those movies.
Every paint us from head to toe in flesh-colored makeup, so we look more cartoony.
That's really good.
What was that, fur or synthetic fur?
We filmed at Vasquez Rock. That's in a little quarry up in Silmar. You know the famous scene where fought the Gorn?
Yes. On Cestus 3.
That's where Bedrock was.
Wow.
That's where they put Fred's house and all those.
The same soundstage.
Well, no, it was outside. Vasquez Rocks is a big natural park.
Oh, okay. I thought that was on a soundstage.
Oh, no. That was all outside. The only thing that
dinosaur house
was inside would probably be the Slag Hoople's house. And right of that was all indoors. But the quarry was outside. The school was outside.
Now, what about the big slab of ribs? Did they ever put that on?
Yeah, but
okay.
The whole city of Bedrock was built in. So there are a few pictures I have of the quarry and of the school.
These are your personal
rock play. Yeah.
These are your personal pictures, not anything that we can put online. Your personal pictures.
Yeah. But you could probably search Google for Flintstone pictures. I'm sure others out there.
Now, Michael, when you were on that Tinker on that Voyager episode, on the first one, was that a 1 day shoot for you?
No, that was 4 days. Then I came back one day for pickups. They needed, it was just a hand. They needed a shot where I was doing something that lost or was bad. So I did a fourth one. Then actually came back later. They were in the void again, and all the aliens were stuck on the Voyager. They had no power. I don't remember what it was called, but there were two of us. The main guy, just me. We didn't do much. I don't think, and the main guy may have had one, but it was just like everybody was on the Voyager and trying to figure out how to get out.
That was it was a different race, right, Michael? It was a different race from the other episode, right?
No, I was that same character.
Oh, it's the same character?
Those are the Overlook.
Okay.
Yeah, I was the exact same character.
Oh, wow.
You'd have to watch that episode. Just look for that. I have all of them on DVD. Find it on Hulu or Netflix if it's out. And I just remember the name of the episode and where we were. Neil books is. I got a signed copy of a Voyager comic, Janeway, where she was on the cover. I have a door plate, buzzer, doorbell thing, ding, ding. And I tried to get props or from every movie I worked on. So I have something to write by. I wish I could have done a lot more. It's a hard business if you're not Mr. Pretty. So character type, and I did character roles. A lot of drinking. A lot of drinking.
Drinking.
Well, now you're talking
Felicity.
about hey, you do a lot of drinking between scenes, did you?
Well, yeah. No, it was a lot of O'Doul's. That's their drink of choice on TV. So I once drank an entire keg of O'Doul's.
It's like synthahol.
Yeah. Do you remember Felicity? She's in a Star Wars movie. Well, just check O'Doul's. It's like
your voice,
1%.
Your voice cut out for a second. I didn't hear what you said.
He said Felicity was in a Star Wars.
Felicity.
Oh, okay.
Felicity, the
TV show.
TV show?
Yeah, she had. There was
I didn't know that.
when she was in college. A lot of drinking parties. So whenever there was a party, you just had me in the background drinking O'Doul's or doing whatever. Do you remember Wings?
Yeah, I love that show.
The people worked at an airport.
Yeah, I love that show. Great.
So I was the New Year's baby at the Halloween party where you had to go track down a heart that was accidentally in the wrong ice cooler. It took instead.
No way.
I took the heart by mistake, and so my job from action to cut was to just drink O'Doul's like this nonstop until they yelled cut.
Oh, wow.
And it was cold.
That's great.
That's part of the job.
Now,
I'm also.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, Michael, I was trying to post the picture where one of your pictures where you're in the music video. Do you want to talk to us about talk about some about that picture
Oh,
of you
okay,
with a
sure.
green face. I'm trying to post it. Sorry.
So part of there is also music videos, and I did a lot of those when I was starting out. Katie Lang, Metallica, quite a lot of them. But Metallica was the best. We went to Raleigh Studios. It was from Star Trek, from Paramount, and it was about Jesus. The director's interpretation of what I guess he didn't like Jesus. His name was Maxwell Bear, I guess.
Oh, Max Bear, yeah.
Yeah, so we were all doing what's the hell, the levels of hell.
Oh,
The video was based on Dante's Inferno.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we were all different character levels of Dante's Inferno. And I was this knight. And they painted, there we are. I'm actually, that's silver, head to toe. I was.
Except for your skin.
We threw tomatoes. Yeah, it was black. I think it only looks green because of the screen capture. But me, metal, and
the night is the Metallica one. The night is the Metallica video.
Yeah, that's Metallica.
Oh, what's it?
Or Until It Dreams. You can look it up. That was before I got the makeup on. I was in a Budweiser commercial where everybody was dressed up like knights, and we filmed it in this big field.
Did it have the Budweiser babes
and I never used it. Nah,
did it have the Budweiser babes in it?
It was medieval.
Oh,
I don't believe so. There's a lot of mud.
they do like what do you call it? The Monty Python thing.
Yeah,
you do look like Monty Python.
Do you know who? That picture turned out really good. Do you know who Master P is? He's a rapper.
Mixed Master P? Yeah, I've
yeah.
heard him.
So in the video, Ooh Wee.
No.
Ooh,
I don't.
Something you'd have to look up on YouTube, but Ooh Wee. I like it. I like Ooh Wee. It's like based at a rodeo or something, and sort of in overalls, and that was fun. I was in the X-Files, and
oh yeah, Sculder and Mully. Oh, yeah. Love that show.
What did you do in the X-Files?
You were in X-Files?
I'm in, and just I was. Remember Paul? He's a balding, heavyset guy. He's playing a scientist. Double. I can't think of his name.
Nice.
Paul. And then I was also in a couple regular episodes, just as extra work. And then
you know what? You've done
more for the loan. What's that?
You've done more than any of us had ever dreamt about doing. It's just so amazing to hear your stories right now.
I've done 500 film and television.
Wow, that's amazing.
It was on The Rock, Air Force One, 210, Melrose Place.
You were telling me the other day
Seinfeld.
about Air Force One, Michael. Where would we see you in Air Force One?
Oh, really good. You can see some really bad pictures on my Facebook. I had a flash, so only while the sun was still out was I able to get undeveloped. Couldn't watch them. I'm at the airport, so when they're in Russia and it's leaving on the plane, at the very beginning of the movie, the presidential convoy pulls up, get out, and they go onto the plane. So I'm one of the Russian special forwarding the presidential motorcade, and
cool.
It was Film Island. They actually had an Air Force One. It was a retired one. On Terminal C3 cargo plane. Yeah, it's like a disused part of the airport where the cargo comes in.
I
There's a freight. A freight.
Yeah, I know it's still there. I just didn't even realize it was still in use.
Yeah. Michael has been Michael has done a lot of he's had very, very continuous work throughout his career, which is amazing. And now he is more focused on helping and giving back to the community. And maybe we should start to talk about Classic Glue and what your project is right now. And I'm going to post some links to that, Michael. What is Classic Glue?
All right. Well, back in 2011, before the Facebook like button, there was a little widget where if you were watching a show, you could click on this and it would remind you when that show would air. Then it eventually evolved
on a cable box. I remember that.
Into
Yep.
It's called Get Glue.
Is that what it was called?
And it was doing well till 2000. Yeah, it was originally called Get Glue.
Okay, I just use it right for my cable box.
He sold it. Oh, it changed. He evolved. He went from that. He had a partnership with DirecTV to the cable box, but then it came into a website and an app, and then he sold it for $12 million to ITV in Italy or Europe. But ITV didn't know what to do with it. Three owners later, what I had discovered, but I was using it, that a lot of the people that I met were seniors and disabled people, and this was their way of making friends and feeling part of a community. One of the things the site did was to give free stickers, and they would mail them to you every time you earn. They would send them to you in the mail. And this apparently meant a lot of, excuse me, this little free giveaway meant a lot. Then when the new company bought it, they ditched that. Yeah, we're not doing it. And they had 9 million members, and then they closed that. Yeah, we don't know what you're doing. And there were all these abandoned people who had no place no other service, and people talked about doing it. So I took it upon myself. I'm going to do it myself. They gave them and give them a home. So for about 6 months in private, put together a working prototype of the site from 2000, and then took on some beta testers. We're going full blast. I had to learn it all myself. We asked for help. Most of the volunteers did content because just like TV Guide, and there's a lot of options to watch, so they all had to be added. And so we had people songs and all the things they wanted to see on the website. And then we slowly built it, and they wanted an app.
So is it fair to say,
computers.
Michael, is it fair to say that Classic Glue is kind of a community portal or bulletin board for people who can't get out of the house too much, who have certain disabilities, and it's a way for them to connect and share about their online and viewing and the television likings? Is that some fair way to explain it?
Kind of. It's like, I would say, a mixture of both Facebook as far as sharing everything and Foursquare, where you're checking in the thing. You can see what other people are also sharing, but you don't get the whole staring that you're playing this game. I've got enough Farmville friends. I don't need it anymore. But for some people, sharing how, and it's they're compulsive about it, and they have to do it. So Classic Lures can feed your compulsive desire without being afraid or worried that you're going to annoy somebody, because everybody has the same little tick. They check in, they do their weather, they say what they had for lunch. Some people, that's annoying, but for others, that's the only way they can connect.
It reminds me of the old days of like Yahoo Messenger, MSN Messenger, AOL, AIM, that type of stuff, where
ICQ.
As soon as you logged in, ICQ, exactly. And that's what that reminded me of. We do not have that anymore. And you had real-time chat rooms. You don't have to post something and wait for God knows how long to somebody respond to it. It's like the internet went backwards as far as that, to me, because I grew up in the age of the internet came out.
I always has a time, an expiration date. YouTube came and went. Yahoo religiously for a long time. I don't use it anymore. Nobody. I kind of moved over to MySpace. Eventually, that's gone. Is now at the top for the time being. Eventually,
hey, I still have a MySpace.
People are leaving Facebook, and only the old people are staying because they don't do. So that's what we are. We're not going anywhere.
My mom still can't program her VCR.
There was at one time 5 other companies. TV Tag, Meme, something, I don't know. But they've all folded. They don't know how to monetize it, make money at it, because they're doing it for the wrong. I'm a compulsive myself, and I like having a place. It's like an online diary, I guess, but everybody contributes to it. And so our big push right now, I have a lot of deaf people who they can't hear, so it's good they can see everything. We have wheelchairs who can barely do this, so they have a tablet.
Do you have a link for? Do you have a link where people can go for?
Yeah.
Yeah, the link I'm posting it in the chat. I'm going to post it again. You can go to, the thing is though, you really have to create the free, you can create a free account, and in order to get access to the web, you kind of have to create an account. Is that right, Michael?
Yes. And right now registration is closed because I get a lot of spam for some reason, but they never do anything. They just flood the registration. So
so should I post the link or not, Michael?
Days where I'll open registration. That's not a problem. We love new people.
Well, because I have some deaf cousins. I have deaf cousins that might benefit from people finding.
Well, great. We have deaf members, and a lot of elderly, and a lot of people. A really big cross section of lovely people who they need something for themselves, just like everyone else. And so it's a judgment-free. It's a glorified forum, but one step up from what forums used to be. So, I do it all myself as. Like the old BBS.
Just so you guys know, anybody who's going to that link, I'm going to just show you something on the screen. Just so you know what it looks like. You're going to come up with a page that looks like this. And, oh, we lost Michael.
Uh-oh. Come back, Michael.
All right. Well, we'll show this while we get Michael back. You're going to come up, his community, Classic Glue.
Oh, it even looks like the old PHP BB logins.
I got kicked off.
So sorry we lost you, Michael.
I clicked on the wrong link.
We were just showing the what you're gonna. If you go to the link, what you're gonna see is this. Your page is gonna turn into a screen like this. And you want to talk? You want to explain, Michael?
Sure. In just a moment, let me activate. There'll be a link, no account. Very simple. We store no public data, just whatever's required, and that's it. There's no personal data, no addresses, nothing. It's completely private. There's no advertising. It's just a fun. We'll earn some free swag and have fun.
Yeah, it's basically a community. It's a community of sharing. That's what it is. I join myself.
Community of sharing with no cookies, no tracking, none of the stuff you gotta deal with nowadays.
No, just fun. And there are no corporate overlord.
Awesome.
Michael, what about this question from Alicia? Would you ever, are you like out of the picture? Are you retired, or would you ever be on the Orville? Says Alicia.
Oh, I would love to be on the Orville. I asked for a tour of the set when I was feeling well, and I just haven't had the chance.
You mean?
I'd love to be on the show. That's I'm nearby, but I don't know what anybody over. I'm not really doing acting anymore, but if the opportunity presented itself,
Cool. Well,
why are they looking for people?
I don't know. You would know better than I would.
Oh,
Michael, Mrs. Sci-Fi.
yeah.
I was gonna say Mrs. Sci-Fi Nation made me put that in my bookmarks,
Yep, I'm gonna join.
and she's gonna join. So there you
go. All right.
And you told me the other day. I think you told me the other day, Michael. You said you were friends with Scott Grimes.
Scott, I talked to them on Twitter, not personally, but
okay.
I
misunderstood. I'm sorry, I misunderstood.
Oh, that's fine. I mean, as much as you can know anybody online.
Yeah.
Since I haven't been in the entertainment business since 2003. All the acquaintances.
Yeah, but you were.
I haven't been on the set in ages.
You were in it a lot of years. You were in the entertainment industry.
So I have
more than any of us could ever dream of.
Okay.
That's still amazing, my friend. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Continue.
Oh no, go ahead.
No, I was just saying that. The important work you did and the experience you had was more than we could ever, experience. So thank you so much. I'm just thanking you for being here.
So let me say this, guys, to everybody who's listening. So Michael right now is dedicated 110% to his community and other similar activities, where he is basically just giving back and creating a safe space for people to share and participate and make new friends, and he's really just giving back right now. That's what he's doing full time right now, from what I've seen. And I think that I'd like to thank you, Michael, from all of the community, from all our greater nerd community, for everything you're doing.
Oh, thank you. It's a calling, and I'm happy to do it, because there are a lot of people who need it, and that's where I'd like to help.
Now, let me also say this, guys.
I don't even know.
Michael has long, with what Michael's doing, he also looks for volunteers sometimes, and it's a lot of work with what he does. And anybody who has know-how, technical know-how, IT know-how, has some time on their hands. Michael said you're open for more volunteers, right, Michael?
Yes, if you know how to code Joomla or PHP or that kind of type of coding, some serious help. It's very simple work. You just have to understand the structure of the PHP, and it's very easy to implement. But with my I can't always comprehend what I'm supposed to do. So sometimes it gets a little. So I could use any help from anyone who has a practice of CMS, Joomla, WordPress, PHP. Those are the things we use the most. Okay, the site should be great one. So now you can actually create an account.
Great. Great.
Then
So the registration is open for
username-
anybody.
Yes. Username can be any, but be practical. No offensive words. No swears. A real email address, and your username should have no spaces in it. Your full name can be whatever you want, and it can have spaces in it. We're trying to build an app. Like I was saying, there are several people who only have apps, and the website used to work kinda. On every year they improve the browser. It gets less and less. So we need to raise money so I could actually app for the site. So
Let me just say hi to Andy Trekker for welcome, Andy Trekker, for joining us.
Hey, Andy Trekker.
How are you doing?
So yeah.
So I've been listening to the conversation. So and
Sorry, there's a little bit of a lag on Classic Glue's. I think.
No problem. That's why I shut up for a minute. You go ahead, man.
Oh, sorry. Excuse me. I forgot what I was saying. Had Andy Trekker out. Think of whatever I had to say in a minute.
Well, no, I was just saying. I was listening to the conversation before. It's nice to meet you. And you know, Orville, great job getting some interesting people to come on and talk about this kind of stuff. So, you know, my hat's off to you, man. Not that I wear a hat very often.
Why are you the anchor? What's that mean?
Well, you know, a lot of people ask that. A lot of people ask. I actually love Star Trek. I'm about the same age as you. I was born in '68, so and so I grew up on the original series. Loved Star Trek my whole life. But the reason, 1 year younger than you. Yeah. But the reason I'm the anti-Trekker is because I don't like some of the hero worship that happened over the years with Gene Roddenberry. I love Star Trek, but and I'm sure you remember, you know, a lot of people, like when they're criticizing Star Trek, they try to, this is going against the vision of Gene Roddenberry. Well, the vision of Gene Roddenberry wasn't really what we ever had in Star Trek. And so I kind of try to cut through all that and just get to the core stuff that I love, the stories, the characters. I care about that more than I care about who produced this or who wrote that or any of that stuff. But you know, like when you guys were talking about Tinker, Tenor, Dr. Spy, love that episode.
Great episode.
Yeah, I'm not generally speaking, I'm not a huge fan of Voyager, but that was definitely a fun one. You know, but the thing that I've always had a problem with is if you look at Trek today, and I'm sure if you watch Discovery, in particular, Picard not so much, but Discovery just full of all this political garbage that doesn't need to be in there. I mean, when Star Trek does politics from the original series and TNG and stuff, they did it subtle enough to where you could be on either side of the political debate and enjoy the episode. You know, where as opposed to Discovery clearly takes sides on everything.
Yeah, the conclusions were usually reached by the audience. Exactly, right?
But they weren't preaching to you. They were just telling a story, and it just happened. Or message in it, like the black and the white, you know, one.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites.
They have to tell you this is so. For me, the core of all my franchises, Doctor Who. And the actors, not so much the writers, the Star Trek, the Kirk and the Spock and the stories and the characters of the universe. Not so much the writers, they created it, but they're all dead.
You know what I loved about
Star Wars is gone. Right.
Yeah, it's sad. It really is, because you're right. A lot of these franchises are just, they're dying because the people that are trying to produce it don't understand what made them great in the first place.
And what I loved about TOS was not only
not from that era,
because that was natural, but it also paralleled what was going on socially in not only in the U.S. but worldwide, right? The social economic climbs of the time, and that's what Star Trek was about, was paralleling what was happening within our world and putting it on screen, but making it fit into a world that was acceptable for everybody, that included everybody.
Right.
That's what I loved about TOS.
I mean, the greatest TOS is culturally was the hippie one. That just cracks me up. Where all the hippies come on the ship and Spock is
I hate that episode.
playing guitar.
The Vulcan harp.
Yeah. I have that album where all those songs are on the Star Trek album with all the cues and everything. So that's what
I just have 3 words for it.
made something special. Yeah.
Herbert.
Yeah, Herbert. Yeah.
Michael, I think that you've lived a very extraordinary life, and are you comfortable sharing with what you told when you talked about your accident when you were young? Are you comfortable sharing that?
Oh, sure. Yeah, that's an interesting life. I should write a book. How many times I survived. So when I was 4, we were taking my brother to the hospital because he had a fever over 70s. That was a dangerous thing. Just as we were about to enter, some blue van ran a red light and hit our car head on, and I went through the windshield, this side of my face. And so I was in intensive care and had ectoplasm and some minor brain damage. That's why more and more of the fandom that I grew up with, my only friends, was the ones I made up in my head and could watch on TV. I went to Who TV, where it was all fun. Where our town was on the border of New Jersey. We could just we had to hear it. The way my mind works with films and art, you hear on, and that also stimulated activity in writing stories. And schools, I was told, I'm never going to age because you're so stupid. But back in the 70s, teachers didn't know what. That was the only.
Right.
Special school called Vanguard for the Gifted.
New message is received from 95250.
Progress at my own level and graduate helped me learn that I can achieve anything by just putting my mind as I can. So although it's a long journey to get anywhere where I have.
Michael, maybe you should. Can you maybe turn off your camera because we're losing your audio? Maybe we'll just hear you better if you. And I wanted to ask you. You said that acting had given you a great outlet to express yourself, right?
Oh yes, always great to. I like doing stand up and comedy, and so with acting, you really get to. Is that audio better?
It's a little better.
Sorry about that. It's probably my network. So I like doing voices. I like doing, and gives me comfort to really just be creative. I think, and
By your command.
of that computer.
So, Michael, but for
it must have been.
Calculating.
Go ahead.
okay, maybe for some of the people who are just joining us, do you want to tell us again through? Do you want to share with us again your experience when you were on the when you were getting into costume and tell us about how long it took you again for those Voyager episodes?
Sure. So Star Trek work is just costume. Not many people can prosthetics because it can be very what do you call it? Claustrophobic, and you really have to. So you would go in usually around 3:30 in the morning, and then they would do, depends how many, and you all have your own private makeup lady. So exclusively, I sadly can't recall her name, but see her, and she would take it off, and we would start with the facial appliance and glue there in the different areas, because the part with the nose and the sat over top of the big cow, and then they would do the actual make. And it was painted, but they washed it off at the end of the day, so they'd have to do it all over again, and then they would spirit glue just to make sure it all sat well. During that time, they order you breakfast so you can eat something. You won't be eating anything. It'll be a liquid diet, at least for that one, because you didn't want too much because it would put stress on the appliance. And then from there, and your clothes are just for my own costume. It's got my name sewn into it. And then you have a 2-part suit. So there are boots, there was the pants, then the upper suit, and then that tunic thing. And that is very heavy and very hot. When you're not on the set,
really
you can either sit in your chair.
It does. Yeah,
Man, I wore of course. With that particular one, not so much, because I have a nice clear vision. But when I was on, I had a mask on that I could only see through the nose. So I would heavy breathe. I operate at confined spaces. So I would go once the mask is on, you stop that over time. So it's a special skill to wear appliance. Fun job if you can get it. I think that's $250 plus time, and the wardrobe that goes with it.
So you get $250 a day to sit in the
world. Well, yeah, it was like, I believe that was $112 an hour plus $250 a foot. So whenever you you get the bump for doing the special plus the hourly wait. I mean, that's
wow.
That's nothing.
I
Now
don't
it's
think
even
I could
higher.
sit through that. I can't even comb my hair.
When I
without
worked
sitting
on,
still. I don't think I could put on a whole outfit.
Well, you can sleep. Pretty much, you just kind of lay there. Amazing. So by the time you're done makeup, it's about 5 a.m. 6 at a set. They do lighting and testing, and you do some run-throughs. But you're not there all day. So you're pretty much sick or you're not needed. And then at the end of the day, when they wrap everyone, then it's the light. And they use spirit
They want to save as much
remover. And they do what they start at the top of your head, and then they peel it, and then they stick it to a mannequin. And then if your face, nobody plaster your face, they make a plaster of your face.
I know this is a very secondary role, Michael. But I know this is a very secondary role, but did you ever have to put this on again for a convention or any other activity, promotional activity?
No. The only other, man, I'm losing my voice. The only thing I did for Star Trek was for the hotel when they had that ride inside. So I was a character in the ride.
Was that Star Trek: The Experience?
Character completely. Yeah. Yeah, I was there's on my Facebook. I was wearing a big armored helmet, some cave. I forget the story, but it was a fun shoot. I really missed going to Paramount. All the studios were like second homes to me.
Michael, tell us how. Michael, tell us how you were one of the only actors when you first got to Hollywood to get your own office. You were telling me that one time. How did you manage that?
Oh, okay. Yes. Okay, story about Spielberg giving himself an office and a job at Universal. Apparently, he was little, would walk around, get to know people. Just one day in an office. Turns out it's not true. However, for me, it is true. I came here exclusively to make movies. Never ended up behind the camera. I was always in front of it. But I did the same kind of schmoozing, around like I owned the place, got to meet new people. And when I was my a miniseries, Project Earth, something. I knew friends at Warner Brothers, and it was the one on this back in the day where you could just walk on. If you look like you belong there, go on there. So I created a messenger service, Express, so I could deliver packages to different different executives and give them projects without having to go to the mailroom. Either go into the entrance in the back, but you just say, I got a delivery, and they sent you in. And I would go to this and find out who I needed to speak to about this show and this show. And then one day I asked one of them, hey, what's it take to get an office around here? They're very hard to come by, even for productions that are on the lot. You got to. So they'll all keep your eye out. And I knew the director of wardrobe and props. And one day, he said, hey, we found an office for you. It was in the back in by the western town. And you just have the paperwork. I got a phone. I had a secretary. Got my name. I started doing casting for my film or TV show. And then that was when Tony Jonas and Les Moose. So either Tony left or I think Les left, Warner Brothers to go run CBS. Person I was dealing with. So they told me the first thing you do when a new president comes in is get your natives and know his secretary, and I already knew all those people. Then when it came down to financing for the show under the new president, it was a no-go. They go, sorry, you have to go. It's all right. That was a month stay at Warner Brothers in my own office. I've had many other such adventures, but that's one.
Well, I love the Canada Express. I just absolutely love that.
You just had to bring up Canada, didn't you?
Yeah, well, who's going to question a company? I'm a graphic artist, so I could create any forms or paperwork I needed. So I would just look like I had an agent, and we would go to shows like trade shows, films, because she was a manager. And one year I went, and I just happened to have Canada Express ID. And it was an after party. I forgot I had it on. So I was meeting all these kind of directors. Funny about productions. And they were, oh, so how's it like in Canada? I had to actually become this, production company. From being a delivery service to the president of some Canada picture. I don't know. It was a long time. It was back early in the 90s. It was fun. And more acting than nothing would ever come of it. Fun adventures. Life is one adventure after. So you have to make the best of it.
Life
There questions?
Oh, sorry, I muted myself. Michael, I think that some for some reason your connection is lagging a lot, so I don't want to keep you too long. But I think it's been a very special treat. And I'm going to put, like I told you, we want to, Orville Nation wants to support your CG reviews and that community. And if we can find volunteers to help you grow that community, especially on technical issues. And I know you're trying to put together an app for CG reviews and maybe that online community of people who are disabled and people who are homebound maybe we can help them grow, help that community grow. Is there anything else you would like to add, Michael?
I can, or why I remember, I've pretty much met every member of the team. A lot of people from Next Gen and Voyager, but I've lost respect for is I was really good friends with Mike Okuda, art designer for Star Trek Next Generation. We talked a lot. I did kinds of panels, and he would help me, give me advice. But now he's kind of become a crazy political. Same with George Takei. Met George Takei when I was younger. He signed a picture for me on my birthday, the one with him and the sword. Now he's a book and on Twitter. Why? I don't understand why they let us get to them. They can't just be. And they all have their foibles, but
I guess some of them feel they need to be a voice. I think some of them do feel that way.
Zip on you. They want to force it on you, not just tell you their opinion. You're wrong. Whereas Shatner is great. He's very combative. He's attacked. Other than that, he's a very nice guy. I'll tell you this one Shatner story. I remember it. As he told it long ago at a convention, and then my connection is really bad.
Sure.
So he used to go to the Devon Horse Show because he likes horses, and he had several. He was on the way to the horse show, and his car broke down. And himself, and he was meeting his trailer at the show. It was at Valley Forge. And walking along the freeway, he's trying to hitchhike. And it gets like an intersection where I guess is turning, and there's a pickup truck, and he pulls up. Hey, I'm going to give me a lift. And I'm going in that direction. I can't be, but I can get you some way. So something happens along the trip, and they have an argument. He says, "Don't you know who I am? I'm William Shatner." Yeah, well, go beam yourself the fuck up. Or something like that. And eventually he does get to the horse show. But I've asked Bill the story again to refresh the little details that at conventions all the time back in the 70s and 80s. Very funny. So, that's Star Trek story. I'm sure I have others, but I can't remember.
Well, Michael, I hope that that you can join us again in the future. Maybe, hopefully, we'll have a better connection, and we can just chill, hang out and talk some more Star Trek. I want to thank Sci-Fi and Annie Trekker for joining us, and Michael. Guys, remember Classic Glue Review. We're gonna post that in the video on the replay, and I'm gonna post it again in the chat. And please, it's a free account. Sign up and help the homebound community. And Michael has reactivated the registration.
For charity, folks.
Yeah. So, any last words, Michael?
Yes, it's the message.
Any last words, Michael? I'm sorry.
If you have any questions, if you have any questions or you're confused, you can send us a message on Facebook, Twitter, or email. We answer you you right away. We're 24-hour technical support if you need help. I can fix it, whatever you need. Thank you very much for having me. It's so great to see us welcoming community. I appreciate. I'll talk to you all later.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you, DJ. Thank you, Jet, Alicia, Mr. Miles. Who else is in here? Bernie Cray, Exenar. Everybody, Stogie, everybody who is in here. So we're sorry, you were going to say something, Anti-Trucker?
No, I said don't thank Mr. Miles. It'll go to his head.
Okay. I think we take it back, Mr. Miles.
That's because you pay him in Beagle Bites, AT.
Well, that's true.
Okay, guys. Thank you for coming, and thank you, Michael, again, and thank you, Anti-Trucker and Sci-Fi. Bye-bye, guys.
Thank you so much, PJ.